This episode of Warchant is sponsored by McMahon Cove Gilly. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Represent.
All right, so here's a question I got.
Halftime
championship game. Halftime championship game. Coach Farmer come over talking to me and telling me this, telling me that. Really got me really thinking. He's like, damn, you got 2 quarters left, 24 minutes left. You ain't putting them back on. So what was going through y'all's minds at halftime? Is it really set in, this is the end of it? Or is your mind still on the game?
Oh, I know as a coach, mine's still on the game. I don't ever throttle down or whatever. I mean, I'm constantly thinking, what can go wrong? Yeah. What can go wrong? A lot of people say that's a negative way to think. I always think, what you gonna do right? Well, I always figure we're gonna do it right, try to do it right. But if it don't happen right, what do you do? What's your plan? How do you get the guys to see it another way? And how do you call the game to them at that point? And I just always felt with honesty, just be honest. A lot of times somebody's getting beat. There's a great player in front of him. I mean, shit, it happens, right? But when I look and coach, I can get him, and I look, and you've missed him 6 straight times, or he's whipped that ass 6 straight. I'm like, hey, look, it's not embarrassing to ask for a little help here. I can call for a double. I can tell that fullback to chip you instead of going on in that A gap. I can give you some help on this guy, but I got to know. You got to be honest with me. So I look at all the things like that because I've seen so many games come down to the wire that we won. When I was here, the Fort Paynes, I can go on and on about how many times we beat them right at the end, and the Cherokee counties over there. I think y'all was on one in Colbert County where we were down. Boom, boom, boom. We come back and won. You remember? So, your mind never quits working. Or mine don't.
I just know as a senior, like I said, Coach Farmer come to me at halftime. We put a hand on. They've got 1 first down by the half. He just says some things, and that starts to really dawn on me. You got 2 more quarters to put this shit on as a North Jackson chief, and this is it. I didn't know if it really hit him. I know when in final seconds, it really set in. But for me, it really set in at halftime. I guess because kind of taught me in my head. So I just wondering if it actually hit y'all at halftime.
I don't know think about that leak, man. When Stucky got me. When was that? You threw that pass.
That wasn't Stucky.
Oh, it was one. I know which one you're talking about.
No, it was a safety.
No, it was a linebacker.
Okay.
Same one that got me in the first half.
He was a good player.
Yeah, he popped my shoulder out of place.
So I remember your shoulder.
My shoulder.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he hit me in the hole.
Stucky
did.
I got you.
You threw that pass. Everybody thought I was hurt. I jumped right up.
Jump right up.
It looked like he had just killed.
I thought that was 45.
No, it was Stucky. Which
team
was on the play for the
I ran that route right in front.
Yeah, but you whooped his ass later at 3rd and 24 when we had to pick that first down up in the 3rd quarter.
Which team was it that we were warned about? Watch this guy.
Guns. Oh, yeah.
Peeling back off his punts.
Yeah,
Coach Lolley does say, watch number. I forgot what number it was. He said, but you better keep an eye on him. And I knew he clocked you. He was pissed.
He had told me he'd been on me all week about it.
Yeah. There's always somebody on that other team on the punt teams or something. I remember, of course, he's deceased now, but Sammy Gothard one night was over playing Fort Payne, and that guy had done knocked about 4 or 5 guys out. I went over it and over and over it, and I never got Sammy,
Mm-hmm.
And,
Chad Appleton got it one night, too.
Yeah.
I got a question for Coach Schrader, since he's not here. Coach, this was for you. But the halftime of the championship game, Coach Schrader came to me. He said, your dad was out there outside the locker room. You don't know how your shoulder is. He said, you better get your ass together and get back in that game. About a year ago, I asked my dad about that. My dad said, he don't remember even talking to Coach Schrader. He said he remember coming to the locker room and asked Coach Lolley, is he all right?
We know he checked in a little bit ago when it FaceTime.
Yeah, when I was FaceTime, put him on blast.
That probably falls in line with did Jim Earl ever do it with y'all at home games where he come over there and say, I should so better listen to him. They said, Joe ain't shit. They said, Joe ain't hit nobody all day. They're over damn laughing. like, damn, we've been at halftime in a minute and a half. You got all that in a minute and a half?
Oh.
They said they're fixing to kick y'all's ass in the second half.
We didn't care a whole lot about what Jim Hart thought. We worried about what Lolley and Farmer and the rest of the guys said.
Well, we talked earlier about the wing tee, and Gerard's a fullback. You were talking about the steps. I'm sure Coach could walk everybody through the steps. You think you could walk through the steps on 53 and on 31, 32, 56, and 55?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those things stick with you, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, we ran them a million times on them boards.
Or over and over in August.
Well, people said, well, how do y'all have that many running backs?
I would say Jeff probably remembers those steps.
2 units, 3 units,
1 year.
4 units, got ahead. I said, well, everybody gets reps. Well, how do you do it? I said, we divide them up. We'll have a 50 series over there, 40. I said, we just go. So you could put our second, third, fourth string in, and they did look sharp. You know, I mean, they win the same drills, right?
I mean, the first stringers or first 2 bunches was over here. I'd have the freshmen, the other guys over here doing the same thing. And one thing that helped us out a lot was 8th, 9th grade ran the same system as varsity. Had a player from Bridgeport tell me, he said, we're a year behind as soon as we walk on the field. And I'm like, just keep plugging. You're going to make it. And what was the coach up there? McGraw. He never would change the system. So they were always at a slight disadvantage when they got into high school.
I'll tell you one thing that made us better with our offense was we were busting ass during the summer. Hell, we'd scrimmage and run 28.
Correct.
20, 30 times in a row against the defense.
And have to score.
And they know we're running the same damn shit over and over and over. Like, God damn, he knows what we're doing. But we run that shit over and over and over until we score on it. Mm-hmm. And it might take 20 times sometimes because they're cheating so far because the whole defense knows where the ball's going. Well, in a game, it made it easy because he don't know where it's damn going.
But those days we'd walk over to the drills, running backs, and we would say, you score. I mean, don't just take the hand, you score. And then we'd say, okay, today, don't run all the way down there, but we want that first 5, 6 steps, I mean, straight at pouring the code to it, right? Yeah. So the system, I thought, was, you know, and same system I used at all. Same system I used at Pro Bowl. So it's no different. And I know everybody that goes, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's repetition. It's getting it right, period. And these guys can run it just as good as those guys can run it. I'm just telling you. Been there. I've been there. Okay.
Stafford's fixing to ask you if that 93 team can beat any pro team that you've coached. Or how close the game is. Or how close it will be. So he was like, Stafford's over here like, so that Auburn team that won the national championship. How close would that game be if we played?
But a lot of guys don't realize how close this 93 team was, though.
You had to be that unselfish.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to.
That's why.
We did so much together. Even in off season, you know, we'll go forward a ride, we'll go hunting, whatever. We always did things together. I mean, we'd be hunting, and it don't be hunting season, and we just be out there shooting stuff. Right, Chad?
Watch what you say.
Here we
go. But, you know, we were just so close. I mean, that's the same team.
He's retired. It's okay.
But, you know, growing up, that same team that we won the little, I think it was called the Harvest Bowl. I got a picture of that on my phone.
Won this year with my little boy.
And, you know, we won it. You know, we had Owens on the team, Chad, Ricky. I mean, it was all of us. And that's the same team that we won state with. And that was pretty special because, you know, you win it at an early age. Then you take that same team your senior year and you win the championship again. So
that's what I don't get with the kids that don't play football. They don't know nothing about what you just said.
Yeah.
And like, to me, that's like the greatest memories of my life, you know, other than my kids now. And
all right. And what's a tribute to all y'all is when we had the weight program started, it wasn't just throw in there and go do this. And I mean, we studied that stuff. We went places. I took them to see the best. You know, we went to see the Russian Olympic team with Johnny Parker doing it. I mean, brought on. So we constantly studied ways. Now, here's the deal. It's in your head, right? great people think positive, right? Okay. And the first year, 2 or 3 of my guys, my strongest guys on the football team could not be at the state weightlifting deal. Okay. But some of my guys have worked real hard and they says, Coach, we know y'all can't be there. You got means. Can we just take this bunch and go? So I think it was Mike Gass got up about 10 or 12 guys, come back with a damn trophy. I mean, we kicked everybody's ass. We come back with a trophy. And so we were now labeled as the strongest team. You know, I mean, this team, what are they doing? From that point on, I'm telling y'all now, God never told you before, I quit doing it. I quit doing the weightlifting thing. Because you know why? We took our second bunch up there basically won the damn thing. You don't think everybody didn't know that. So now we're going to have a lift-a-thon because we're the strongest team in the state and the only ones that can beat us is us. We're going to compete against each other. Now, if nobody else beat us, no.
Them lift-a-thons got pretty serious, too.
We wasn't going to lose.
I remember they were pretty intense.
Yeah, it got intense, and we wasn't going to lose. Period. I mean, we thought that way, you know. So we were always looking for ways to think positive, and like I said a while ago, besides being organized and filling out for it, we tried to think about every aspect of the confidence. Because we knew we had to play people that we had 400 students or so, right? We was playing people with thousands, 1,000 or 2 students, some of them 6As.
Right.
So we wanted every advantage mentally we could go into that game with, just like the dressing rooms, how I used to do the best in dressing rooms, and I won't get into all that or get in trouble, but put little flowers in there and give them all the drinks they could, Mountain Dews that they could damn drink. I'd give them little flowers in the damn room where they go to sleep, hopefully, make it real cozy for their ass, And then we was over there beating the damn drums and be ready to go, So anyway.
And passing the ammonia around.
But
never breathed better in your life than you will.
A lot of folks don't know those little things in your head. Our guys always ready to go, so they're in there doing their thing. We had a plan always.
Them lift-a-thons were unreal because I never considered myself to be real strong, but lift-a-thons, the bench. I remember one time I thought I was going to max around 270, 280 at the most. So when the lift-a-thon started, I jumped in the first time at 230. And I can remember Farmer and Stewart both being like, don't jump back in till 270. I'm like, God dang, I thought that's what my damn max is going to be. I don't need to jump. So I tried to jump in again at 260. They're like, no, you jump back in at 270. And I'm sitting over there worried to damn death. I'm like, I'm not going to get down 270. I need another rep before then. Jumped in 270. Everybody in there just threw it up. They're like, come back in at, I think it's like 290. I'm like, God dang. I was like, I can't do damn 290. I never did 290. I ended up maxing out at 315. Mm-hmm. Blew my mind. Now, 315 was a struggle, but I'd never touched 300 in my life. But just that, being in that room with them coaches and the parent, the dads in there, and the adrenaline in the room was unmatched. And I don't know that we have that going on now, man, but
I like how I remember Coach Schrader, he'd be beating on his chest when one of his DBs without being a lineman. And that happened from time to time, just depending on the scenario.
Well, that's because Humphrey's damn arms were that long. He had that far to go with the damn 5.
I remember Humphrey getting in the squat rack. You remember that? And him barely bending his knees. He's at the safety rack. But yeah, I remember him hitting about 650, something like that on the squat. But
we had a lot of players on our team that was squatting 500 with ease.
Yeah, even 6. Yeah. In fact, we had one go 7, and I stopped him. Because I was scared he'd hurt his back.
I mean, you have people as small as, like Chad McCurry, Gerard, he was, 170 pounds. I mean, we had so many, the linemen could do it with ease, but just so many skilled players that was squatting 500 pounds like it was nothing. So,
do y'all remember the guy that came in and did all those tests before the season?
Yeah.
And then
the 40-yard dash
and stuff during the season.
Yeah.
We were the only school out of all of the schools that he tested that actually got better as the season went on.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. Because we stayed on the way.
Absolutely.
I remember back when we played.
Just, enough to stay tuned and stay strong. That was our thing, is we wanted to be at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. And if you didn't know, we won state that year.
Yeah.
Was that 93? 93, wasn't it?
State champs.
I can't believe you ain't got the ring out.
You know,
Did anybody wear the ring?
Yeah, anybody wear the ring?
I got mine.
Man,
I figured Stafford would be like this right here the whole damn time.
yeah, I figured he'd done took his get
Which
clean.
camera's on?
yeah, just know we got them.
Talking about the weight lifting, I can remember when we were seniors, South Pittsburgh and Jasper used to wear these little shirts. And I remember seeing them around. I finally stopped a guy one day. He had one. I was like 600-pound club. And I was like, what's that mean? Oh, that's your squat, your bench, and your power clean combined. I was like, 600? They making you wear that till you get it up? 600 pounds? Like, man, what would ours be?
Did you and Coach Farmer challenge each other to a 500-pound bench press?
Yeah.
I was in the weight room. I think it was 450. Coach Lolley says, "Spot me." Man, I couldn't even squat that.
They like pulling that shit on us.
Oh,
Every now and then, he'd pull that out.
Well, my senior year, I had a teacher's aide with Mr. Smith up in the ag department. Didn't do shit ever. Coach Lolley come up after something one day. He was like, "Smith, what you got Grider doing?" He's like, "Nothing." He's like, "Can I have him?" Smith was like, "Yeah, you can have him." So I'd go down to spot Coach Lolley every day for his workout during my teacher's aide. Man, he would go so big on squat and bench, and he would tell me when he benched, he'd be like, "Don't touch it. Do not touch it." That was the most stressful damn hour of my life. Because, I mean, he's just piling plates on, you know. And I'm sitting there like, oh, my God. He said, "Don't touch it." You know, some of it, you know, I mean, and I'm like, God damn, is it moving? Is it moving? I'm like, he's going to have to black out, pass out for me to touch it, because I ain't getting asked you for touching it too damn early. So, I mean, there was times where I'd be like, hell no,
I think everybody's probably in a spot at one time or another. But yeah, he come up. Well, I was in there one day. He's like, "Spot me, coach," and I loved it. He's like, I don't know. He had a bunch on there. We'll just put it that way. More than I could do. He got down there. I thought, please God, let me get these weights off of him fast enough if he can't get it, because I didn't think, you know, I didn't know at that point. I wasn't expecting to spot him on that much weight. And there it went up, but I was thinking, you know, if he don't get this, I'm going to have to somehow get this off of him. And I weighed 120 pounds. There wasn't no way in the world I was going to be able to pick it up off of him.
Coach, you got to tell him about
No, since you talking about it and you talking about spotting him, once you get up and go through Coach Lolley's routine, how he actually did the squats.
he wraps them knees now individually. Every second he would wrap them, unwrap them. I'd be like, damn, I ain't in there. I got a damn class.
No, I want you to do everything.
Yeah,
I think you're afraid to, bro.
Yeah, I am. But I do remember he would rewrap. He would sit down and wrap each knee individually before each set, and he'd do them.
I was always scared they wouldn't go.
I'd be standing there waiting. We'd do a set. He'd rack it. He'd take them off. I said, "Damn, he's only going to do 2 sets." He'd say, "Put 2 more plates on." He'd sit back down and start rapping. I was like, "God damn, what are you taking them off for? We're going to put them right back on."
Let the blood flow to his toes.
Tell them about, Coach Lolley, you got to tell them about it at Auburn after you had your surgery and wasn't supposed to be doing shit, and how you snuck back into well, I don't guess you snuck, but when you went back in.
Well, it's kind of, we lifted with our players, and I was always real big on the fact that if I was going to, because we coached them, we had to get them tough, like we talked about a while ago. When I first went there, we weren't. So I would lift with them, this, that, and other, but they found out I had the heart murmur, right? So they got to go in and put a valve, in my heart and everything. So I'd had that and several more things, but I'd never missed a workout with them. So the guy's a real good friend of mine now, top heart surgeon in Birmingham, John Richardson. So John, being a big Auburn fan, he said, "I don't want nobody else operating on you. I want to do it." So I knew that they was going to have to split my, chest and going to have to wire it and everything. And I said, "Well, how long am I going to be? Because my guys are working and I don't want to." He said, "Well, you won't be lifting for a while." I'm like, "Yeah." And so he said, "Well, it takes 6 weeks for that bone to even kind of start healing. So we're going to wire them, right?" So anyway, but I was in there, so they were supposed to be watching me, Yoxel, all of them, but I'd get in there and I'd kind of sneak. But I couldn't spread my arms, and I'm a tall guy, but I'd like to get a wider grip. It's tougher. So, but I come in there close, right, kind of do a close grip because my chest was split open. So. Anyway, I was sitting there doing them that day, though, and kind of everybody freaked out. I looked over, and they're all looking, and the guys cut. So I looked down, and I was kind of a bloody mess. I started bleeding, but one of them wires had popped through a little bit. Just kind of, cutting. So we went and got some wire cutters and tried to snip that thing a little bit.
And this is how long after heart surgery?
This was probably about 5, 6 days, 7 days, something like that.
How much?
Totally makes sense.
How much were you benching?
That day, I just really went up to like 320, 325. But because I wanted to do the 345s just to prove a point. And
this is at what age?
I'm not sure. Let me think. That surgery was done. I'm 67 now, so it's probably 48, 49 probably. I'm guessing. I'm guessing.
So 50-ish.
I was 50. Yeah, I at least 50.
50-ish.
Yeah, I'm terrible on numbers, but
You had a GA that worked for you.
I had 2 or 3 of them. Yeah.
I think one of them was from Scottsboro.
Don Webb Jr.
Donnie Webb. Yeah.
He
He was there a while.
He's got some amazing stories.
Did you know Coach Lolley pitched in the college baseball with hemorrhoids?
I did. I had him lanced.
You notice when he's got the hemorrhoid out low,
That's the most embarrassing thing ever happened to me tonight for me. The whole crowd.
I gets so low at the end. He looked away from the mic. Man, you got to put captions on that when you
They
produce.
take me up there and lance me and bring me right back on that pitch. And then they'd wrap that cotton and that stuff all around you. How you're an athlete. The first time I kicked that leg up, the cotton would rip. I mean, it was a mess,
Did you come up with it?
I used to.
You don't remember? He told us that one time.
Did you research Lolley last night?
No, he told us that. He told us that in driver's head one day.
In fact, I got a picture I'll show y'all before I leave. So it's when I played baseball. I actually had long hair. I had the Pete Rose look. Yeah. Oh,
In college.
yeah.
It was Livingston.
Livingston.
Yeah, he said he pitched. I don't know if you remember. He pitched
Stop trying to get a job here. I feel like he's well rounded.
Yeah.
So you
It's coming up some fun
right
facts.
now. When was the last time you watched one of our games on YouTube or something?
Me?
Yes.
Every time I'm terrible on this kind of stuff, but I did make it to a game or two. In fact, the one they honored us, I definitely come to. Mm-hmm. But whenever I could, Brad, he's good on this stuff, so he'd say, "Dad, did you watch them or whatever?" And then the year that they went to the state playoffs, of course, I followed, all the way to the championship game, And, of course,
Just
I'm always
all of
going.
ours are on YouTube now. Ain't they?
Yeah.
Are they? Okay.
I think there's maybe one missing.
Well, I
think all of them
just
on
got
there.
to get better
Yeah,
at that.
Patrick, I think, got them all on there.
I ran into Brad one time down in Florida, and I said, Brad, how's your dad doing? He said, well, I think I seen him in a little bit. He said, last time I saw him, I went up to the Iron Bowl. He said, I stood in Tiger Walk, going to catch him before he got in the game. He said, Dad came up through and I stepped out and I was like, Dad. He said, you grabbed his shoulder and said, 4 fucking quarters. 7 by the side of my head. They said, hell, I ain't seen him in 7 months. That's all I got. He went in the game. They said, hell, I guess I'll get him after the game and talk to him.
I tell y'all would have loved them because they played like you guys did, though. But it took a while. You got to all. I was very fortunate. All the guys that I did coach there went on to the pro level. Of course, when you can select what you want, to me, you either a bad evaluator or a bad football coach if that don't happen. That's my opinion. But those guys, I mean, I was so embarrassed when I first went to our physicality. But some of the things y'all just talked about, like I was part of a team that beat Alabama 6 straight times. I mean, we beat Nick at Auburn as much as anybody else has. Beat him when he was at LSU. Good football coach, really good football coach. But as far as X's and O's, things like that, it still comes down to we went to Alabama when they was ranked number 1 that one year. I had everybody hurt. It'd be like being in North Jackson. You're talking about people get hurt. We were hurt. We played the number 1 defense in the country. And we sat there playing 2 freshmen in the backfield. And Trey and then Cooper Wallace. 2 freshmen. Okay, number 1 defense in the country. But it reminded me of being at North Jackson. We're coming on the field and some heckler starts. You know how the game is. It's a tremendous rivalry. And they started chanting and hollering down there at me what they was going to do to us. And I got pissed off. So I go up to the gate. And I lost my composure a little bit. Was coming to the bleachers, I said, well, hell, you won't come down here. I'm going to come up there. So I get over there and I looked up. My guys is passing me getting up there now. They're passing me. I mean, I'm talking about Junior, Rose Green, Tavares Robinson, and they're coming by me. We got them cut, and I said, "This game, it's on, man. It's on." And I could feel it. You know how you feel the games. And it reminded me of some of the North Jackson, Scottsboro. I mean, it really did. I mean, we were kind of the stepchild. We were not the main child, you know. We're in the state of Alabama. Alabama's got all the championships. I mean, they're a great program, right? Well, we're Auburn, so, you know, but we had a little chip on the shoulder. It'd be like going up the road. Right. A little chip on the shoulder, you know. Like, tell you what, you're going to get that head cracked today, you know, and you just don't know it yet. And that's the reason we was always able to play with them, is because we're physical. We were physical when we were there. My guys were very physical, and they come to get you, you know. And I used to say, they ain't going to last the ball game if they throw it to them receivers 3, 4, 5 times. They ain't going to last. So, you know, well, my big deal was always you got to survive the contact. If they catch it, he's got to survive the contact. He's got to survive it. So we come, you know. And that's the mentality we played with. But we got that mentality. I mean, honestly, it reminded me some of the physical games we had here. No different, just a bigger scale.
I think it's Don Webb Jr. told me a story about the Florida game. Where Auburn's getting beat at halftime, and you went in and told the DBs.
Oh, I did.
Once you get a down penalty. First play of the second half.
I did.
Put them down receivers on the ground, get a down penalty, set the tone. They're going to be physical.
They won the national championship. Their only loss was to us, and we absolutely like to cripple them. So, but no different. And I coached here again. I went in, but I asked permission because I had to talk to the coaches. I said, if you will let me run cover 2 against these, which is I wish they never showed up. I said, I want to grab them receivers in the damn throat. I want to get their effing attention. And I want 9 guys ready to hit them SOBs when they do all that. And we took it to them. I mean, you know. But we ran cover 2. Like we ran here. I wanted it because it's only pure zone you got, right? Now, I will get to talking football one night because I never really got to open up when I was here. And I mean, we were simple enough, but I can explain a lot of things to you. But you know, you got to get the numbers on your side. So in the secondary, that's where it's got to happen, right? That's where it's got to happen. So in the box, when offenses walk up now, they're looking. And they see 6 guys in the box, okay? They more or less going to think throw quick, throw the RPO game quick, whatever. But they see 5 in the box where the linebackers, we used to take that wheel and scoot him out a little bit. Maybe that Sam had to go out there on the edge. Oh, they're coming. They're coming downhill on you now. So you got to know that. So your fits change from the secondary, this, that, and other. So my guys have to be very physical. And I always believe that the tone is set on every defense by them defense backs. I mean, they miss, it's a touchdown. You know, they on an island. These guys are. They on an island. They got to be together. Now, we screw up front. We run them down. We'll live to play another play. But that's what I used to tell my guys. I said, you got to be the most physical guys in the stadium. I mean, you know, and I don't want to get off on that because I love these guys. We don't talk about it here. But some of them games up there reminded me of, you know, us here having to go play, you know, the Floridas and the Alabamas and, you know, and we're a little undersized, they think. But, you know, and I don't care how big a guy is.
You talked about some of those guys, you know, you mentioned several names that you coached.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn, you know, up in the pro level, that kind of reminded you of this area.
Mm-hmm.
One guy, and I remember reading this article about Rob Pate.
Mm-hmm.
He had shared an article,
mm-hmm.
and just reading that, it sounded like anybody in here had wrote that article,
mm-hmm.
and it was him, and he had a discussion with you. But I felt like after reading that, I could relate to him just because he felt like it. Just reading it felt like it was one of us.
Yeah, and he thought the world of me. I coached him, and he went on to play pro ball. He wrote several books, and I'm in 2 or 3 of the chapters. In fact, he wanted me to write one of the chapters of his book on discipline because, see, I handled all the discipline in Auburn. Okay, it's really you didn't see a lot of us in the damn papers. I'm going to tell you. You know, I got some stories on that. We'll do that another time. But, I mean, I've had guys to go down and have to IV them out there and everything, and they come back and say, "Damn, you know what you doing?" Damn, I said, "Well, hell, you call it punishment, not damn, you know." Tiptoed, whatever. I said, hell, I get through with them. They ain't going to come back a second time most of the time, you know. If they do, good luck to them. But, you know,
after reading that, I felt like I could run into Rob Payton
Yeah, Roger.
I feel like he would be like, and we would be on the same page.
And he's a doctor. In fact, he's a doctor in Auburn. And but Rob was a hell of a player too. Yeah, but he was like us. Yeah,
I think you. What I was told, had to go get one of the linebackers out of McDonald's. He's about to whip everybody's butt in there.
I've had a bunch of that. I mean, we have, like everywhere else. You got it everywhere. It's just how you handle it, you know. And that was my job. And but like I coaching defense in pro ball. I mean, you don't think we don't have some characters now, but it's all handled the same. I mean, you got motivate. I tell you what, I had a couple of pro guys. I did a special thing here in Canada. And they were saying, well, what made y'all the best defense, this, that, and other? And they said, it's just something that Coach Lolley expects that you do. You're going to play hard. We all play hard for him, and we don't mind it. You know, he's one of us. He understands things, but he'll get you. But, you know, and I think it comes back to discipline again. I mean, these guys, they played with their own team here. They're champions. I didn't interfere with them once they was in a rhythm and roll. In fact, I fed to them. I let them win the game. You know, now we coached them hard. You know, like we did everybody, but you look for the leaders to take what you've taught them. I can't make a damn play. I can't make a tackle. I got to hope they do. You know, but once that we teach them the right way, and another thing is, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I don't mind that. I don't mind. Why do you think it needs to be done different then? Tell me. If you can, I mean, Farmer used to argue about the double team block. When I coached Mark years ago, everybody was downhill, option, wishbone. They was firing low like Scottsboro did. They were a low blocking team. About the only one we played was low blocking.
Shot blockers.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way the game used to be. So when a guy was fighting a double, you told him what? He'd get double, grab what? Grass. Grab grass. Well, now everybody's zone blocking her up high, and they're coming off with them big animals. They're coming. You can't grab low. If you turn off and hit that guy's shoulder, so you got to turn your ass and sit on the box there. You turn your ass into him. Turn your ass, take that guy, don't let him go, and put your big ass in that hole, along with their big asses. There's two ways to stop a hole, right?
Right.
Put your ass in it or put his ass in it. So in that situation, so we started teaching different. Mark says, well, I said, we're going to Miami. We're going everywhere. So we went to visit Miami. We went everywhere. I let them talk to the best D-line coaches in the country. Then I'd say, now tell them why we're doing it this way now. Don't just tell them to do it. I want to know the why. If I don't know the why, I'm going to be mad at everybody. I want to know why we do what we do. If you can't explain it, shit, it ain't good. So if a guy asks you why you're doing it, you need to be able to explain why you're doing it or send him to me. Okay? But don't ask them to do something they don't know why they're doing it. You ain't going to believe in it either, right? And if a player says, coach, I need to talk to you about something over here, boom, 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 I'm like, I'm all ears. Talk to me. All right. I learned something from what was our little young defensive end, but it wasn't big as nothing. From Bridgeport.
Shauna.
No, not Sean was one too.
But like it was.
But anyway, I'll think of it here in a second. I hate that because I love all my players, but I got it. I see his face right now. But he was about 180, 185 pounds, and he's playing that 7 technique where Shavers and all them guys, you want a little bulk there, a little strong. So anyway, he's having to play there, and I'll never forget it. And somebody's just killing him one night, and he was so concerned because he wanted to win more than anybody. He come in there and says, Coach, that guy's bad. He said he's so strong, and he's a big old guy too. And I sat there and I said, yeah. And I said, what are you telling me? He said, Coach, he's knocking my bags all the way past that hole. And he said, I am hitting him with everything I got holding. And I could tell he's concerned. There's tears in his eyes. I said, hold on. Not way skin a cat. I said, let me ask you something. I said, if I put you in a 6 technique head up, and you got to fire off on his big ass. You got to strike. But when you strike, can you get that hole without him shoving you down? He said, I think so, sir. I said, you got it. I said, don't you get your ass cut off of that cigarette. All right, Coach. I said, shit, second half, hold that ball. But see, he could do that. He was willing. His way was better than our way. In his particular body type, everything. You got to let the guy play, right? You got to let the guy play. I can't sit there and act like I know everything and sit there and watch him get his ass whipped for 2 more quarters. You see what I'm saying? Because he was wanting to do it right, you know. But
that goes back to me and you talking about on the radio, coaches trying to force what they want to do versus what they have the kids to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to adapt.
Yeah. When I was going up, all the coaches would have to tell you because I said so. You do it. Well, why? Because I said so. I don't understand this, You did it anyway, but I never understood sometimes. So I'm real big into that one. One of my guys asked me a question, one of my pro guys, can they bring their briefcases to work now? They come to work. They get paid to do this. I love it because you can talk out here with them. And I feel very confident, so I love guys that are real smart because they challenge me, right? So when I'm sitting there talking to them and everything, they'll ask questions. Sometimes I say, why'd you ask me that? I just got through covering because I'm not going to go back to – these guys get paid to listen. And I said, why did you ask me that? And I said, the answer I want from you is why? You asked me a damn question. Why did you ask me that question?
Right.
I mean, that way it keeps them from tying a meeting up all day, asking questions they already know, or they just bullshitting around or something, I put them on the spot quick, right? That way they know that they're able to ask me, but they need to know why. So, but I never explained a lot of that when we're playing with these guys. It's I love sitting around with them now because they're adults and they're great guys, great players, and I just appreciate coaching. But some of them never knew how I thought. Really. We had a good system, right? For example, and I'm going to brag on it a little bit. All these defensive guys sitting here. When we run the wing T, all these packages don't stop in the wing T. We found out it was the 4-3 that we ran. Base was the best damn thing in the world that we did to stop the damn wing T. Period. Now, I had to tell that 3 technique, which I call a 2-0 in the pros, and I'll go over that one day. We're going to have a chalk talk. But anyway, when that limmit's blocked down, we squeezed off that ass, and the first threat, we knocked the hell out of it, which was the fullback normally if you was running 28, okay, on the trap. Plus, now, if you'll go get it, you can tie that backside guard up. Now, what teams start doing? They'll pull one guard, then they bring the backside guard and influence your ass because coaches tell their guy, if he pulls outside, you go with him. You got to watch for the down block here. Take it. Now, do you backdoor? Do you cross the face? You got to answer that damn question. But I didn't do that shit. I said, we're going there hell in the hot water. We're just going through the show to get there. If that time bitch pulls outside, shoot him the bird, knock the fuck out the backside guard, and I hit that fullback. There ain't no damn influence trap. There ain't no influence trap. We have just cleaned it up. Plus that guard can't get to the linebacker. So we got one free guy to 28, plus we just paralyzed the damn fullback. Okay, you see? But we ain't going to boo old dude. He does this, you do. Hell no, we're going. Okay? And that's the way our whole defense is built. Period. Okay? And if somebody tried to get a schematically thing on us and they had a tight end to one side and twins to the damn other, we'd roll 3 to that side. There's a reason we call base 23. It's either 2 or 3. But when you got that nub in, we'd roll that 3 over there. Why you don't roll 3 to 2 wides? 2 wides, we want to cover 2. You know why? Try rolling 3 to that shit and tell me, roll it strong, who's going to stop the option weak side? You ain't got enough. You ain't got enough.
Outnumbered.
Period. End of story. Now, what our guys didn't understand, a lot of teams said, well, to stop this wishbone, all you got to get an 8-man front and get that free safety involved. I said, in other words, it's 9 men. They're like, I said, don't make it sound pretty. It's 9 damn men. You can't stop it with 8. You better get him involved. But we're better than that. We're going to run cover 2. And we're going to make our corners physical as hell. They're going to get some of that damn wide out. Then they're coming on that pitch. You got 4 fronts. You got 3 linebackers. We got 9 and we're at the line of scrimmage. Ha-ha. Well, most folks are scared because they couldn't coach cover 2. But see, people used to say, how does Lolley ever stop the damn run? I'm sitting there going, duh, they can't count. They don't know what corners are doing because they got the pitch on the option. And I'm taking that front, playing the damn dive and the quarterback with them linebackers in. And we read color in the hole, get on top. And I didn't mean to tie y'all up with a bunch of that stuff, but I'm just trying to tell you that's where we were at North Jackson. We were ahead of the bubble.
I was about to say,
we're way ahead of the bubble.
To do that here.
Me and Stafford talking not long ago. I called him and he said, I never realized how much gang tackling we did.
Oh, yeah.
If you go back and you watch the films now, they were
it was always 11 men to the ball.
Correct.
On one tackle.
Absolutely.
And what you were just speaking about, having physical cornerbacks, I mean, Chad may not have been the biggest guy, but he was physical as hell. And we know Ricky was physical.
Absolutely.
But there's been plenty.
That's where you get invited at it, Riggs.
A game film that you can watch on that season where you see Ricky or Chad blow up that pitch man.
Absolutely.
On the option. I mean,
remember the Fort Payne game when he went there the first time they tried to run the damn option for his Carter, and he knocked the shit out of that tailback. They didn't quit it again. You did.
And Chad McCurry did.
Gurney Mashburn against Scottsboro, and Chad.
Chad McCurry did it against Cherokee County. You just seen Cherokee because he about killed his shoulder, but he just flapping his shoulder. He tore him up. But there's been plenty of times where those cornerbacks just ate up the pitch guy.
Yeah,
I said, I need a linebacker. Here's Chad. I'll do it. He wasn't scared.
Chad and Ricky were just eating it up all the time. And like I said, Gurney Mashburn did it. That pitch man he was about to get killed.
Oh, yeah. And that's the reason we did that kind of stuff. Because, you play cover 2 and they set the hard edge. Because there is no defense without an edge. I watch teams play now. 90% of them don't have an edge to the defense. And I'm going, oh, my God, I'd score 70 on you, son of a bitch. It's pitiful to watch it. Nobody sets edge. We had an automatic edge set with the corners, period. Plus, the way we run that 4-3, our defensive ends were always outside their guy on the line of scrimmage. All right? Where did we ask Jimmy to play? The C gap, head up the tackle, but that damn defensive end was outside that damn tight end. So we had that quarterback here. We had everything inside out. We flushed them the pitch, and then everybody ran to the ball, and the rest is history. But
the rest is history.
I was waiting that. What year was it y'all won state?
1993.
All right.
Yeah, the rest is history. Because if I didn't mention already, it was the number 1 offense and defense in the state of Alabama that year.
Very few run up the middle on us.
I think we averaged, 7 points we gave up per game? Less than 7 points.
That sounds it.
Anybody go to Alabama Mississippi All-Star game off that time?
Yeah,
I haven't been mentioning
Stafford. He's taking autographs later tonight.
Hey, you're going to sign my bow before you leave. My bow.
I did. And remember that first ever. But any one of these guys could have did
Ricky,
it.
you can too.
I mean, Ricky could have did it. Gerard, Chad, Terry. I mean, we were just so deep. Anybody could have made that team. Hell, I didn't even know what the team was. That's the first time I had ever heard of it. Coach Lolley came to me. He was like, hey, we're going to Mobile. Well, I was going to Montgomery for a little weekend practice. And I was like, going to Montgomery for what? And
Did you get to help pick those guys?
The teams that got beat for 5 or 6 years in a row, and I picked the linebackers, for school, but it's still got to be voted on. Right. I recommend. But Mississippi had beaten Alabama like 4 or 5 straight years, and they called me. And that's when me and the coaches used to get together, and I'd grade them. And they all got mad at me because Alabama and Auburn had signed all these guys, and I didn't recommend a damn one of them. But we went out there and beat the hell out of them. I got some real football players in there and found them, and nobody knew who they were until they went into pro ball. The guy from Wetumpka that went to Vanderbilt broke all the tackle record at Vanderbilt, went and played for the Patriots for all those years. You had him. I had the guy at Arkansas, the Culver kid, the SEC Player of the Year. And another guy from down in South Alabama played at Arkansas, but they were the linebackers that year, and they all wound up being SEC Player of the Week many times. In fact, the one guy broke the tackle record, and nobody had even heard of him. In fact, they called me, Arkansas did. He said, we are really hurting. I told him to sign them too, and hell, that's when Arkansas was good and had great defense. Both of them guys played there. So it's a lot of politics in that stuff. It's who scratches whose back. It really is. I don't like it.
Pardon? I never forget that trip, especially the Mobile trip. And me and Coach Lolley pulled up in my damn parents' yard. He didn't pull up in the driveway. He pulled up in the front of the yard on the grass in front of the porch and loaded the stuff up. And we was headed out. And, of course, I kept telling my parents that Coach Lolley going to talk me to death. He going to talk me to death. So, football all the way down. So I went to sleep on him. By the time he woke up, we was going across the bridge in Mobile. And I just happened to look up and said, where we at? He was like, hell, you slept the whole damn way. We here. But yeah, it was
How's the game go?
It was tough. I think we ended up losing in the fourth quarter, but it was a great experience. It was a lot of talent. From defensive end to cornerback, quarterback. A lot of those guys played in the SEC. A lot of them went pro. So it was a lot of talent, a lot of speed.
You telling me one state where he's down there? My name's Stafford. We won state. Have I met you? My name's Stafford. We won state.
Well, one of the teammates was Kevin Jenner, so I couldn't say much to him. So he was one of the teammates. He was a kicker, so I couldn't say much to him because they had beat us. But
yeah, I think there was like two. I think there was 2 or 3 from Daleville on that team with you. I think there was a lineman on there too.
Probably was.
I looked it up the other day.
I don't think they talked to me much.
No, I haven't much say.
I hope it wasn't that guy that gave every play away. That one tackle gave every play away. I hope it wasn't him.
I went to North Alabama with Earl Mack, and when he found out I was from North Jackson, he just shook his head and didn't even say anything.
That's number one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He was a good ball player, man.
Yeah.
He brought it all night long.
Who's some of the best players I played against? I'm listening. See if I hear any NFL top 5 first-round picks.
These guys back here.
I said played against Stafford.
We did in practice.
We know y'all are good.
I'm going to tell you right now, Wingnut and Joey Guess. That's from a cornerback perspective. I played a few teams that could bring it like them two brought it. And I'm going to tell you, Daleville was one of them. They could bring it. Gunnersville could from time to time. But Jason Ferguson and Joey Guess, night in and night out, them two guards come at you. You better have your stuff together because they can get you.
Scrimmages wasn't no joke, was it?
No. So you better be ready.
That Gunnersville, after that Gunnersville loss, when I say tackling them guys,
open your eyes a little bit.
You ain't had no choice.
I'm saying in the reverse roles, though, did it open your eyes a little bit? Like, whoa, blocking's pretty down.
Yeah, it did.
Shit's pretty damn important.
Sean Martin coming downhill, how do you block him? You hit him in the ankles. How do you tackle him? You hit him in the ankles. When no one's coming downhill to me, what do I do? I'm 170 pounds.
Stay low.
You gotta stay low. So, it was scary. We learned our lesson. We didn't go back to those type practices. So,
Did they ever talk to Sean anymore? Anybody say
I used to see Sean from time to time.
I looked him up on Facebook, just trying to find and get in touch with him.
A long time. I hadn't seen him since I reckon he left school. Yeah.
There's been a couple of times where Coach has been up, but he's so busy, everybody around. Well, the last time I've talked to Coach Lolley was at Auburn. Y'all were playing Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. That's when Eli Manning was there. And we went down there, me and Mike Guess, and Coach Schrader was there. Coach walked us down there. He said, this is family. They opened the gate and let us come down. We got down on the field, watched them warm up. I remember Coach coming running out through there, and he looked over and seen us, boy, did a double take. Made a beeline over there to us, hugged us up. Of course, he told us what they were going to do to Eli Manning and Ole Miss that day. And I won't get into the details of that, but it was a pretty intense conversation. But this is the first time I've actually seen you since then. But,
and Mike Guess was a big part, huge part.
Oh yeah,
yep.
Huge part. Playing receiver and playing free safety.
Mm-hmm. I was going to be here tonight, but Macklin's being recognized for all region, I think, or all county or something at the county basketball deals. Where
Watched him play. He's a good player.
Me and Chad, we used to call Mike the fair catch guru.
He wasn't going to return no punch.
Yeah, Mike
did do that a lot.
Mike would fair catch, a lot of punts, but Mike Guess would hit you. He was just a hard nose. He gonna hit you no matter how big you are or whatever. He was a hell of a free safety.
Big in the kicking game.
Yep, he used to kick out extra points.
I don't know if he missed any extra points.
Mike he was huge. Everybody played their role.
It took me talking about, he said, I'll be in that back pedal. He said, I wanted to come up in that run. Trying to get up there in that run, you know how you get intense and get to talking.
Because Mike and Chad were probably the two smallest guys on defense. But both of them would hit you. They would hit you in a heartbeat.
Somebody got behind Chad from Fayette that night, about the third or fourth quarter. I've never seen Chad run that fast. All we ever said is he got behind him, somebody said, catch him, and he took off. I don't know if y'all remember that. But he can run now when he wanted to.
Yeah.
I tell you, and it's been, about 10 years I had that alumni baseball game. Did you play in that, Chad? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He hit one, he had a decent little shot there and was rounding first. He showed some pretty good speed then, had that little belly sticking out there, but Chad still go. I was like, dang, Chad still run.
Well, Michael was
He has speed, but he'd trip over and down
Mike,
the
his
trot line
brother,
over
his
there.
brother was over here.
He would.
Mike was
play
one of the
the
fastest
grass.
guys ever come through here.
Yeah, he could move.
Mike McQuarrie and Mike Guest was brothers.
Chad.
I'm talking about Chad. Oh, okay. Yeah, we did start talking about Chad. I'm sorry.
Chad got to bring a bombshell on us. Mike McQuarrie, Mike Gasper brothers. You heard it.
Chad had a brother named Mike.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Chad
Played for
brothers.
Stevens.
Yes, sir. Stafford got lost because he was thinking Fitz mentioned us winning a championship. So
Tell him what that championship. Tell him.
So the guys got it, man. They on cue now. Yeah, we don't brag
I mean, that's
about
what we want everybody to know. Is who won the Stafford? Tell them what year.
1993.
how many times y'all say out during dinner tonight? Anytime the room goes quiet, mention that we won.
I don't think we said. I think people know.
We was all.
I think.
I mean, it's still the only one in the trophy case.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
This is going.
I know there's a runner up there, but they didn't finish the game.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of
I
potential.
got a good friend. He's going to watch this. And I'm sure Todd's fixing to give me hell over this. I mean, but you didn't finish it.
And there's a lot of teams in North Jackson could have won state.
Appreciate
A lot of great teams that came through that could have won state.
Me and Sykes talked about that a bunch on the air. If you sit down and look year to year, I mean, all the way up, I mean, there were several teams that was
Somebody was always interrupting us.
Yeah.
Trying to,
Yeah,
somebody's always trying to shove us down.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other team that can.
we got bragging rights.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
Honestly,
rooting me on.
you say who's the best team, and there's no other team that can say, "Hey, we won a state championship," and that's the bottom line. I mean,
Hey, it ain't about that, man. It ain't. We pulled for all those other guys that didn't.
We have.
I guarantee you're looking for the next team.
It broke my heart when we fumbled. I ain't gonna say.
Dude, we had it, you know. It breaks my heart. I want it just as much as anybody else.
It could easily be 5 or 6 championships
Yes,
in North
sir.
Jackson now.
Yeah.
And something that we hadn't mentioned, we got 3 minutes left on this memory card, but we've been recording for a little while. We've never mentioned the thread. I don't know how many people has actually been on the thread, but we talked about on the thread, and I think it was Big O mentioned it's a shame we don't have more state championships than we do. I mean, we've had some really good football teams come through.
I think that 90 team probably would have been the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, I jumped on the bandwagon, moved up, to try to get a ring.
Dashler's been the thorn on our side.
Yeah. We moved up, trying to get us a free ring because we knew we were going to get to play.
Thought David Holloway.
That was something.
We did get to take our whole team out there though that year. That year we moved up.
Yeah.
They beat us. Yeah, our whole team went out there. Everybody moved up. We went out there and played.
So, I mean,
Series, I think.
That was against North Green.
Was it
Was it North Green?
We got a whole series.
Yeah.
We got one out.
That whole team was talented. And they were big, they were fast. And we just had to take that punishment every practice.
That's one thing that was different back then. For a 9th grader to get on the field, especially outside of trash time, your ass was bringing it. It wasn't a need. It wasn't like, oh, we don't have a guy to put there, so let's play this 9th grader. If you got on the field as a 9th grader, your ass was bringing it.
Yeah, now you're seeing 9th graders, if you're a pretty good football player, you're getting some pretty meaningful time now.
We don't even have enough 9th graders to have a 9th grade team.
Right.
Like they have to play on the varsity because there's not enough of them to have a team.
I wish the guy that Anthony McDonald, his 9th grade year, would have been that same Anthony McDonald his senior year.
Oh, yeah.
Because we'd have had a damn tailback.
Yeah, we'd have had a tailback then.
And I wouldn't be upset with you for having Ray Pendergrass back here. 1 minute.
Ray Pendergrass, can y'all please get this guy on the show? I want to meet you. I mean, he's been missing more than the state championships.
We'll talk out there about that.
1 minute warning. All right, we're going to wrap it up here.